Our lives are made, developed, and screened through story making.
So how do you sum up a person's life? That's usually an impossible task, and it was really more impossible given Judi's extensive interactions and activities in her professional, social, and political realms. One of Judi's biggest qualities is that she was a dreamer, and she dreamed big, and sometimes so big that I thought, no way, this stuff is never going to happen. And some of those dreams didn't come true, but some of them did.
The thing that my mother cherished the most in this whole world were experiences. Experiences with people.
Kantu sa vodik, razumiješ?
Stoj.
Šta stoj? Ne. Stani. Ček. Imaš kantu sa vodik.
So here I am in Ljubljana, my favorite city in the world, besides home, of course. I was blessed with a Fulbright scholarship or a fellowship to work with Alma Mater Europaea, which was a university developed by 21 Nobel laureates to further the education in the New Europe.
She carried this practice over even to her grandchildren. Over the summer, she would take her grandchildren to Sanibel, to the Keys, North Carolina, the mountains, Georgia, just spending as much quality time with them as possible because that's what mattered to her.
As the oldest of 7 children, I always dreamed about being a mother. But I never imagined that I would meet a soulmate who I respected and fell in love with so completely.
Judi really lived her philosophy. It was a very humanistic, positive philosophy of mankind. So whenever anything would happen, any sort of major events, she would be the first one to try to go. When Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, she got the okay from her university to take a leave of absence, and she went over there in a shelter and worked with the Red Cross, working with victims all over the state of Louisiana. That's an example of something would happen. She wouldn't just say, oh, is that terrible? She would say, what can I do?
My mom was a very kind-hearted woman and taught me a lot. And I feel like I carry that, and I'm grateful for that. I got the grammar from her, which I've always excelled in from her side. The math, not so much. But I remember learning, driving down Biscayne Boulevard with her as a child, reading McDonald's, reading the signs, and you know, it's just something that I always keep in my mind.
Her students were her inspiration for life. And it wasn't about like the academic fanfare or any kind of accolades. It was about the human connection. And if you were a student of hers, it wasn't just in the classroom. She followed her students' lives forever, professionally, personally, and the majority of her students, they became her friends.
We devoted ourselves to what was important in life, our values, which meant being together, which meant loving each other, which meant celebrating fun.
Hey,
The end of the party.
the end of the party?
Yes.
And
Party's over.
how do you feel about that?
How do I feel? Hip, hip, hooray. It was a great party, right? Hip, hip, hooray.
My mom was not the traditional mother. Every Mother's Day, we would pepper her with questions, trying to figure out what the best gift was and how we could spoil her, understanding that any gift we ever gave her was always regifted to someone else. And now, as a mom myself, I understand that, every year she would tell us, like, I just want you all to be together. I want no fighting, and I want everyone to be happy. And I'm happy to say that the last few Mother's Days, we were able to give her that.
There's so many things I could say about my mom, but the truth is, my mom always had the right words to describe her feelings and her emotions. And I'm just going to read a Mother's Day card that I recently found that my mom sent me. She said, "Dearest Jess, so proud, and I will say it over and over loud. You truly understand and embrace the most difficult, challenging, and rewarding role in life. You cannot imagine my absolute joy watching your delight in your sons, and the respect I have and the longing to help when times are so hard. When you feel as if your emotional and physical resources are completely depleted, mothers go on, and it always gets better when we least suspect." She said, "Have a happy and restful Mother's Day. Please make your own on a day of your choice. Love, Mom." And that's what my mom always did. She always went on and supported and loved us and made us feel so incredibly amazing for who we were, who we are.
I am told that I look more like her than my father, and I appreciate that. When I was younger, not so much, but now I really take pride in that.
Judi had very firm beliefs, and she acted on those beliefs as well. So if it was a matter of a political ideology or candidates, that she would get behind them and she would volunteer her time, and she would call people. She'd try to get people enrolled to vote. So she was very much of a social activist and a social justice warrior. Anybody who knows her would certainly agree with that assessment.
Bonjour tout le monde. Moi, c'est Semil Fort. C'est ancien président Cocano qui c'est coopérative Café Cacao Nord-Ouest. Moi, fais des vidéos ça pour me partager à famille Cocano. C'est avec un pile tristesse que nous apprenons que c'est non Julie li qui était ça. Ça vraiment l'hypothèse nous en pile, ça fait nous attrister tous les amis. Moi fais vidéo pour me capable dire tout le monde condoléances. Et Fanta dit Cocano rivé exister jodi a, yo relé le Cocano c'est grâce surtout à tout le monde qui porte support yo bay Cocano dans toute façon. C'est tout c'est Julie qui était toujours avec nous dans tout voyage, qui était qu'on fait Haïti avec groupe université etc. C'est Julie et à travers présence li bon côté par nous qui était toujours content, toujours encouragé. Juste dans le dernier moment il était là avec nous dans l'inauguration dépôt Cocano et il était content. Il était toujours là ensemble avec Monseigneur Polo, ensemble avec nous tous pour nous arriver jusqu'au côté nous arriver. Un chrétien c'est ça même lié. Les nous mourir, nous pas doit mourir net. Les nous mourir net, c'est les nous mourir, nous pas faire aucune action pour monde qui dehors, pour monde qui derrière, pour yo continuer. Mais les nous poser une bonne action, et bien qui permettre monde et vivre, continuer vivre, et bien nous toujours été vivants. C'est ça, c'est mille fois mais moi mais ok pour me toujours été vivant malgré corps pas là, mais pour l'esprit toujours là, et bien c'est même bagaille pour cette Julie.
All of her grandchildren that she left behind that still love her and ask about her daily. So we love you, Mom, and we miss you, and we think about you every day and try to make you happy and proud.
She was an activist of the highest degree and never was looking for the spotlight to be on her. She was a voice for those who didn't have one. And I promise that I will continue her fight.
I love you, Mom. I miss you terribly. I think of you all the time and in your words as things are. When times are hard, we go on.
And finally, all we can say is that we really miss you, Judi. But your legacy and my legacy will be our children with Jessica and Jackie and Daniel. and our great grandchildren that I adore, and I know Judi thought the world of. That made her happy, made her smile. Even at the end of her illness, there was one thing that could make her smile, would be the little grandchildren coming and saying hi to their yaya. So on this day, which of this tribute, Judi, which is actually our wedding anniversary, we just want to say we love you and we miss you.
Look at me. Say, I love you, Yaya.
Just thank the Lord